It was a sunny afternoon when I started moving my son's belongings into our lake cabin. He had recently been deployed overseas, and this was his first visit home in months. We were excited to set up his new space at the cabin, a peaceful retreat where he could unwind after all the stress of military life. As I carried in boxes unpacked clothes and arranged his things, I felt a sense of joy knowing that he would have a place to relax when he came back. However, just as I was finishing the move, the HOA Karen from across the street, who had been an absolute nuisance since we moved in, appeared. She came over, demanding that I remove all the things I had just set up because it wasn't allowed by the HOA rules. Her face was filled with entitlement as she claimed that the cabin wasn't properly registered for personal use, despite me having all the necessary paperwork. I calmly told her that I wasn't breaking any rules and that I had every right to use the cabin as I pleased. But she wouldn't have it. She immediately called 911, claiming that I was violating some nonsensical rule she had just invented. At this point, I could feel my blood boiling, not only because of her interference, but because she was putting my son's homecoming in jeopardy. When the police arrived, they were baffled by her accusations, as they couldn't find any legal basis for her complaint. I explained to the officers what happened, and they could see that the situation was a complete misunderstanding, fueled by the HOA Karen's personal vendetta. The officers laughed off the absurdity of the situation and left shortly after, giving me the reassurance that I wasn't in the wrong. But this wasn't the end of it. I'd had enough. I knew it was time to put an end to her reign of terror once and for all. I began working with my neighbors to review the HOA's regulations and found several violations of our rights. Armed with the information I needed, I took action. After presenting the evidence to the HOA board and bringing the community together, we successfully voted to end her position and dissolve the influence of her HOA. It felt like a massive victory, not just for me, but for everyone who had suffered from her overbearing presence. My son's cabin was finally a safe, peaceful space where we could relax and enjoy his time home. Without any more interference from the HOA,